Hello there and welcome to TVS Nightline. Here with me, Shao, and as always, we begin with the headlines. Our top headlining story today is the Sarawak Crocodile Hunters Association has confirmed that there were no body parts or human remains found in the crocodile which was caught in the Batang Samarahan River on Wednesday.
According to its association leader, Wan Mazlan Wan Mazian, initially the gigantic reptile was suspected to be the predator which had preyed on two Samarahan locals. However, after further investigation, only a carcass of a monitor lizard was found inside the said crocodile. The association was established following concerns after another tragic attack by the reptile. Among the victims that had fallen prey to a crocodile was Azhan Azhar, 29, on January 12, whose body was found on January 14. Association members had placed a trap around 5 a.m. on Wednesday and successfully caught the said crocodile around 12 noon. The crocodile was the 11th crocodile and the largest one caught by the group thus far.
On to the next update, as Sarawak's second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination program is expected to commence in April, in what it depicts to be a massive and complex exercise.
Deputy Chief Minister Dr. Amar Douglas Ugamba said it will involve vaccinating some 2 million consenting and eligible Sarawakians, comprising expatriates and foreign workers. He stressed that it is going to be a problem if the foreign workers are to be opted out from the immunization program. Uga, who is also the State Disaster Management Committee chairman, said the State Advisory Group would collaborate with other medical expert groups on the matter. As such, Sarawak had already publicized its vaccination master plan even a month earlier as compared to other states.
Meanwhile, a 3-day-old Tuan Mude species, Rafflesia, was found to be blooming at Taman Negara Gading on Thursday. Sarawak Forestry Corporation Ranger Jerome Joseph said the flower measured 72 centimeters in diameter.
The flower was located about 150 meters from the entrance of Gunung Gading National Park. He said it was the first Rafflesia flower in bloom found this year. The last Rafflesia bloom was in 2001 and it had a diameter of 98 centimeters.
Now, the Sarawak Trade and Tourism Office Singapore, or STATOS, gives an added advantage to Sarawak to market local products. As it was known to many, the office would highlight Sarawak's identity as a high-level trading partner. With the establishment of STATOS, trading in natural energy resources and agricultural products in the state would be empowered. Chief Executive Officer of STATOS, Chew Chang-Guan, said the establishment would be a good starting point for Sarawak.
To reach out the world through this setup in terms of trade, investment and tourism. Of course, Singapore is just the stepping stone. It's not only just for Singapore, it's also for other part of the world. Depends on the products as well.
Meanwhile, Singapore is among Sarawak's biggest trade partners. According to Chew, Singapore's 2030 vision was to produce 30% of local food products, while 70% would be imported food products.
So Sarawak has one very important opportunity is work together, collaborate with Singapore, and offer them some joint venture or investment opportunity in terms of agriculture. We have plenty of land, correct? So we can joint venture with Singapore.
Chew added it was important for exporters and local Sarawak entrepreneurs who have potentials to showcase themselves in Singapore. Commenting further, this included good branding, appealing packaging, as well as high-quality certified products. Sarawakian exporters can benefit from the promotion assistance scheme from STATOS that awards up to 10,000 Singaporean dollars per year.
There are so many things from Sarawak that have not yet be promoted. So I believe there's a lot of chances, opportunity for SME in Sarawak to think that this is a good good opportunity that can work together with startups and bring the product out.
For those who would like to apply for the PASS grant, applicants can log on to www.status.com.sg/trade. Furthermore, Chew said among the most popular Sarawak products in Singapore was Sarawak Laksa paste and high demand for Sarawak's shrimp paste.
We are still looking for things like this, belacan. But we still need some company produce good belacan from Sarawak, nice packaging with labeling, and then talk about stories. This is not a right packaging, but we need more products, but can talk to us about how to package it into the right products for the Singapore market.
Now, I'm proud to say that our local shrimp paste will be our local pride to the world. Now, following the next news, as a total of 27 applications for special assistance to kidney patients, or BPBP, had been received by the Sarawak Community Welfare Department as of last February. Now, Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah said out of the total, 13 applications were approved at a cost of 379,000 ringgit.
Application forms can be obtained at community welfare offices, resident and district offices, as well as health facilities statewide. The completed forms and supporting documents must be submitted to the respective divisional welfare offices. Meanwhile, a total of 3,665 patients with kidney disease were recorded by the State Health Department last year. Of that total, 3,192 patients were undergoing hemodialysis treatment and 352 patients were undergoing continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis treatment, while the remaining 121 patients already have kidney transplant surgery and are undergoing observation. At the same time, she also reminded all non-governmental organizations to continue efforts in raising public awareness on chronic kidney disease in Sarawak.
Now, in order to build consumers' confidence towards halal products, Malaysia's first halal zone within a shopping mall was unveiled on Thursday at Mashmar Tuanku Abdul Halim Muazzam Shah Shopping Centre located at Complex Islam Sarawak. Now, Sarawak Islamic Council President Datuk Misnu Taha said that Mashmar Halal Zone was the second halal zone project set up after the halal zone at Medan Selera Lundu.
Misnu added that the intentions of the project was to increase awareness and confidence in halal certification among the public, as well as to attract tourists via the halal zoned area policy, which in turn would help increase the economic resources of the entrepreneurs involved.
Ini unit halal Jabatan Agama sedang melaksanakan ziarah halal untuk pasaraya di mana ada food court. Mereka akan beri ke tempat berkenaan untuk memaklumkan tentang faedah kalau gerai-gerai itu mendapat halal certification. Di samping itu juga mereka sekarang ini juga pergi ke mana-mana tempat hotel dan sebagainya untuk promote halal certification.
He added that the Halal Zone project was a program under the Sarawak Islamic Religious Department Strategic Plan 2019 until 2023, which was related to the Halal Smart Partnership Program. Misnu explained that the project also involved the Jais Halal Management Division and the Kuching Islamic Religious Office, together with partners Sarawak Islamic Complex Management, Ministry of International Trade and Industry, Industrial Terminal and Entrepreneur Development Mintred, University Technology Malaysia UiTM, as well as several other agencies. Furthermore, Dato' Misnu said the halal zone would be expanded in several districts, namely Sibu, Miri, Bintulu, and other regions statewide to further promote certified halal products.
Welcome back. Now on to the COVID-19 development as the Jalan Pengiran Matuk cluster in Muka district officially ended on Thursday, whereas Kanawit, Sri Aman and Samarahan districts reverted from orange to yellow zones.
264 patients have recovered from the COVID-19 infections in Sarawak. Sibu Hospital recorded the highest discharge at 141 patients, followed by Sarawak General Hospital with 55 and Bintulu Hospital with 21 patients. Meanwhile, Sarawak recorded 168 new COVID-19 cases and no fatalities. Sibu recorded the highest number of cases at 49, followed by Bintulu with 37 and Miri at 19. In the same development, Malaysia's daily new COVID-19 numbers hit 1,647, continuing the slight uptick in cases for the second day in a row. However, 2,104 patients had recovered from the virus. Another 9 people have succumbed to the disease, raising the death toll to 1,200. Selangor recorded the most cases with 712, followed by Johor at 170 and Penang at 169.
On the other hand, the High Court in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday ruled that the Young Dipertuan's proclamation and the ordinances enacted under the emergency law cannot be challenged or called into question in any court or any grounds. Now, Judge Ahmad Kamal Muhammad Shahid said this was provided for under Article 150 (8) of the Federal Constitution, which among others states that the Young Dipertuan Agong's decision in any emergency proclamation shall be final and conclusive.
Ahmad Kamal made the ruling after dismissing the leave application for judicial review brought by 3 elected representatives to challenge Muhyiddin Yassin's move to advise the Agong to suspend Parliament and State Assembly sittings during the emergency. The trio were Simpang Jeram Assemblyman and Pulai MP Salahuddin Ayub, Gurun Assemblyman and Sungai Petani MP Johari Abdul and Tebing Tinggi Assemblyman Abdul Aziz Bari. In their application, they named the Prime Minister and the government as the respondents. Kamal also held that the application to challenge the King's decision in the proclamations of emergency was not amenable to judicial review.
Now, the United Arab Emirates or UAE is committed in boosting trade and investment in Malaysia. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin pointed out that the discussion between the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, to Malaysia are good news.
According to Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, UAE provides guidance towards unlimited cooperation in discussing bilateral relations between the two countries. UAE also expressed their readiness in collaborations and intensifying its efforts to realize the objectives underlined in Malaysia Digital Economy Blueprint, My Digital, launched recently. My Digital aims to ride the rapidly growing global digital wave at this time, and that it is very important for Malaysia as a growing digital market in the region to remain competitive. Discussions with UAE, among others, will focus on collaboration in the post-pandemic recovery phase, food security and strengthening cooperation in the oil and gas industry.
On to our local update, as 55 out of 146 traffic lights in Kuching have already been upgraded with the Sydney Coordinated Adaptive Traffic System, or ASCATS, otherwise known as the Smart Traffic Light System, to provide safe movements and intersections for vehicles and pedestrians. Sarawak Minister of Transport Dr. Lee Kim Shin said the biggest advantage of the ASCATS system was its ability to reassign the green times of the traffic signal for vehicles in real time in a versatile manner.
The smart traffic light system can reduce travel time by as much as 48% during peak traffic hours. Each cycle, the detectors at the stop line measure the traffic volume and how closely packed the traffic is. After analyzing such data from each junction, the SCATS algorithm will then determine and assign the more suitable green times based on calculated fairness. Lee said it was crucial that existing infrastructures such as traffic lights be integrated with artificial intelligence. To assess the effectiveness of the smart traffic light in Kuching, a preliminary study was carried out on pilot routes to evaluate the actual reduction in travel time after the upgrade. The study included junctions at Jalan Green, Jalan Tun Razak, Jalan Batu Kawah, Jalan Rock and Jalan Song. The average reduction achieved for the peak times was about 48%, which means that a previously 20-minute trip will now only take 10 minutes.
At the same time, the Royal Malaysia Police will be conducting job interviews nationwide. The police aims to rope in non-Bumiputra police constables starting March 18 to 31.
Bukit Aman Management Department said this special intake is tailored for non-Bumiputra Malaysians. Its director, Dato' Ramli Din, said they will be given flexibility on their SPM's Bahasa Malaysia results. Previously, candidates are required to obtain 2 credits in their SPM examination. However, the requirement is made flexible during this special intake. Only 1 credit at any subject in the SPM examination are allowed to apply. Ramli added that it will be advantageous to police if the force consists of multiple races. For the post, the basic salary will be 1,441 ringgit, excluding the housing and living allowances of 995 ringgit. Ramli said that constables in different police departments will also be receiving allowances of between 200 ringgit and 300 ringgit. Those interested to apply for the police constable can do so beginning today via the PDRM's website at epengambilan.pdrm.rmp.gov.my.
Semua warga negara Malaysia bukan Bumiputra boleh membuat permohonan jawatan Constable Polis Grade YA1 lelaki dan wanita melalui laman web e-pengambilan PDRM. Dan dalam masa yang sama juga PDRM akan membuat temuduga di bandar-bandar besar di seluruh Malaysia.
Now that domestic travel restrictions have been eased, the state police chiefs have been ordered to tighten its screening measures at the border checkpoints.
Saya telah pun mengarahkan dengan tegasnya kepada semua pesuruhjaya polis dan CPO Sabah, Sarawak dan seluruh Semenanjung untuk mengetatkan lagi kawalan-kawalan di sekatan jalan raya, di mana pemeriksaan akan dibuat dengan lebih gigih lagi. Ya, saya telah mengarahkan supaya setiap petugas-petugas di roadblock tersebut tidak ada ruang rehat.
Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bado said that he had received complaints that some police officers had been lax in manning some state border checkpoints. Tighter checks will be performed nationwide by the police from Friday, March 12th. Abdul Hamid said 36,000 police personnel have been deployed for compliance checking, roadblocks and ops painting duties. He said that this ensured the country sees a steady drop in the number of new COVID-19 cases.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, individuals caught flaunting the SOP of the MCO will now face a hefty fine of 10,000 ringgit effective today. The police said the increase of fine from 1,000 ringgit to the 10,000 ringgit was simply to make people aware that the virus is still everywhere in case we forget.
Inspector General Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bado said the Emergency for Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Amendment Ordinance 2021 was gazetted beginning 12:01 a.m. today. Abdul Hamid said the decision to increase the value of the compound was not to punish the public excessively or allow the government to collect money from them. If MCO imposed since a month ago is not complied with, he said the situation can change from better to worse at any time.
Now, members of parliament or MPs and senators still carry out their duties as representatives of the people, even though the parliament is not sitting. Now, Dewan Negara President Tan Sri Dr. Rais said the MPs and senators continue to perform their duties outside of parliament. Therefore, it was not appropriate to cut their salaries or allowances.
Soal ahli-ahli yang berhormat itu tidak buat kerja tak timbul sebab 222 ahli parlimen di Dewan Rakyat dan 66 orang di Dewan Negara, mereka menjalankan kerja mereka di luar Dewan, bukan dalam Dewan. Ini harus diterima. Dan jika ini tidak dapat kita gambarkan, maka salah tanggapan itu. Oleh itu, tugas mereka di luar Dewan berjalan terus. Tidaklah wajar dipotong allowance atau gaji mereka, kecuali mereka sendiri mengatakan potonglah gaji saya sekian banyak. Ini persoalan perundangan.
He said this when appearing as a guest on Ruang Bicara program produced by Bernama TV last night. Rais was responding to a question raised by a caller on the need to cut the salaries and allowances of the MPs and senators as Parliament is currently not convening. On January 12, Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah had agreed to proclaim a state of emergency nationwide until August 1st to curb the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. However, recently, Istana Negara in a statement stated that Al-Sultan Abdullah expressed the view that Parliament could convene during the emergency period on a date deemed appropriate by His Majesty based on the advice of the Prime Minister.
Now, the government has approved 6,973 applications with a total value of 1.315 billion ringgit under the National Economic Recovery Plan or PENJANA for SME financing scheme as of February.
The total allocation of 2 billion ringgit under this scheme prioritized SMEs which have not received loans from banks previously. For the PENJANA microcredit financing, he said a total of 391.9 million ringgit had been channeled as at February 26, benefiting some 11,708 micro SMEs.
Ini merupakan peningkatan sebanyak 28.5 juta ringgit, manakala PKS Mikro yang mendapat manfaat telah meningkat sebanyak 934.
The Bumiputra Relief Financing was introduced by Perbadanan Usahawan Nasional Berhad with an allocation of 200 million ringgit. This saw 641 SMEs receiving funding amounting to 182.8 million ringgit as at February 26, 2021. For the Wage Subsidy Program 1.0, a total of 322,177 employers and 2.64 million employees had benefited from this program as its closing date on September 2020.
Sementara itu, di bawah kita prihatin pula, kita ada program subsidi upah PSU 2.0. Setakat 26 Februari, sejumlah 808.31 juta ringgit telah disalurkan kepada 66,591 majikan untuk terus beroperasi dan mengekalkan penggajian bagi 554,876 pekerja.
In the same development, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, or KBS, and the Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives on Thursday launched the Sports Industry Financing Scheme with an allocation of 20 million ringgit to assist industry players affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Youth and Sports Minister Datuk Sri Rizal American said the scheme, which prioritizes owners and operators of sport premises and facilities and to be jointly implemented with National Entrepreneur Group Economic Fund and Bank Rakyat, was also targeted at helping to provide new synergies to industry players through soft loans. He said the initiative could create synergies in terms of easy financing for owners and operators of sports facilities post-pandemic. He was confident that the scheme would benefit over 4,200 sports and recreational industry entrepreneurs, especially owners and operators of facilities and premises registered under the COVID-19 Intelligent Management System developed by the Ministry of International Trade and Industry.
The Sarawak Forest Department, or JHS, has seized a total of 312 logs through illegal logging operation at a location near Rajang River, Naga Samaram.
The seizure was carried out by Sarawak Forest Department Enforcement Team together with General Operation Force through intelligence and monitoring information conducted by SFD enforcement personnel to combat illegal logging activities at Batang Rajang River Canoid. Sarawak Forest Department Director Datuk Hamdan Muhammad said the seized logs were formed into rafts and transported in the strong currents of Rajang River did not have the physical requirements authorized by the department. All case items have been placed under the care of the Forest Department and further investigation will be carried out under Section 96(1) of Forest Ordinance 2015. The section provides for a fine between 25,000 ringgit and 150,000 ringgit or maximum 5 years jail or both upon conviction.
And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. And as we still are fighting with the COVID-19 pandemic, I would like to urge all locals to always stay vigilant. Here with me, Shal Chamerto, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.